today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to paint this cute, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but these are going to be heart balloons, and they're going to be holding this little basket with a capybara in it. So it's a Valentine, just chillin' Valentine capybara being delivered with a basket. And you guys know that I love to use this this palette. I'm not sponsored or anything by this palette, although, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if that happened. Hint, hint, just kidding. But I have a surprise because this is my palette, and you can see that this palette is incredibly well used, well loved. There's been a couple colors that I've had to sort of replace, like refill the little things. But I do feel like if we're going to do a beginner watercolor, then it's nice to have the paints already like choices instead of having to mix paints on a palette, which is typically like an advanced situation when you're mixing. But the surprise is that we have a brand new palette. Look at this. Oh my gosh, never touched, never used, super excited. And the reason why, one of the reasons why this is very exciting is because these sparkly ones here, they're like metallic. We can use these for the balloons, but then we have the non-metallic, like little bit of a darker version over here that we can use as like the low lights, and then these can be the highlights. And I'm just excited because I'm hoping that you paint with me today, because in our past videos we've fast forwarded or like sped it up, but we're gonna do this one real time, however long it takes. And I've got here a maybe more simplified version of a painting than I've done before, because I'm hoping that we can paint this together and get it painted in real time, so you can follow along with me. So if you are one of my followers or friends that has gotten this palette before, it's very inexpensive. I'll put the link for it, the affiliate link that I have for it in my description. So if you have this, you'll be able to select the exact ones with me. Also from Grabby, and that was just like happenstance. I just happened to order these and then like got used to them, and so I love them. But I think you can use any watercolor, any paint brushes. I just happen to have ordered these Grabby ones and I love them. You guys know that the number 3 Grabby is my like go-to. I have trimmed off like some pieces of this that were like sticking out. It's just a well-loved paintbrush, but that's the number 3. And I'll probably use some of the smaller ones in the set. And I'll definitely use this big, this is a number 14 round, and it's just from Master's Touch at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so I'm gonna use, if I use other ones in my set of brushes, which is like all of these, if I use other ones, I will let you know. Okay, so we're doing this a little differently in that we're just like, we're just going like full real time. And I've got my water in a tiki glass, that I got in Hawaii when I went with my sister and my parents. So here we go. So the sketch, if you want to pause and sort of sketch it out so that you can start with me right now, how are we going to do this? If you want to pause and sketch it out, I'm going to move this over here a little bit and zoom in here. So the top bits here, oh, that's the bottom bit. So the bottom bit, you're just going to make a basket, and then this capybara is literally, I'm trying to make it like beginner version. So once you sketch out your basket down here, the capybara is just coming up like this, and his little squarish head and down. We're not doing feet. We're not doing anything like super detailed. He's got a little eye right there, and his little ears and nostril. Like, that's as simple as this is. And then the balloons up top are just hearts, and they're hearts that are overlapping. I'm going to try to do some of the balloons be translucent. That's why you can see this balloon behind this balloon. And then some of them will be not translucent, opaque. So we'll just paint them behind. So if you want to be painting exactly like me, just pause the video here and sketch out your hearts. And then to make them balloons, I just made this little like kind of gathered balloon bottom right here on each of them, okay? Here. And so some of them will be behind and some of them will be in front. And then after all of that, we'll take the strings down to connect them to, let's see, we'll go like that, move it over, oops, move it over. Bear with me here. Yeah, and then connect them to the baskets. So you want your hearts that are going to be in the front to be connected to the front to go in front of the capybara. I only have 2 hearts, this one and this one, that are attached to the front of the basket, and the rest are attached to the back, and this one's sort of to the side. That might not be realistic because then maybe more balloons in the back would make him tip over, but you know, for the sake of cuteness, this is what we're doing. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So if you want to sketch out first, and then I always tape my paper down so we don't have rippling, taping my watercolor paper down. And then, so pause here and sketch out. You're just making your little capybara outline with a little eye. And with watercolor, you guys, the more sort of abstract and loose it is, the sort of cuter the watercolor becomes. So don't stress out about that, okay? And then the basket, everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna watercolor a basket. We're gonna do it together and it's gonna be fantastic. Don't worry about it. So you're just gonna sketch a little like oblong around and bring it down, and then we will fill in the basket together. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so pause, make your sketch, and then come back, okay? All right, we're back. We're back, yay. All right, I'm gonna try to move this back to sort of how it was before, so that you guys can see. If we're doing it together, I want you guys to see my palette and what I'm selecting, but I also want you to see this little side paper that I use and this napkin that I use, because in videos past, this kind of activity that I use this paper and this napkin for have been off camera, and I feel like we need to bring that into part of it, because if this is a follow along, then we need to show everything that is going on, right? I mean, that makes sense to me. All right, so we're all sketched up and we're ready to go. Our little capybara here and our balloons. I think we're gonna start with our balloons. So I'm going to let me see, iPad. Hold on. And transition. Okay, so I popped up on the screen a reference photo of what the balloons could sort of look like, okay? What this does, it gives us a reference for where the balloons would be dark and light to give them a rounded appearance, okay? Now, my balloons, some of my balloons are going to be translucent. So I can do, like this one is going to be translucent, and I think this one is going to be translucent. So, do I want to make this one translucent? I'm not sure. But this one's going to be translucent. So we need to paint this one and this one so it can dry, and then we'll paint this one over it. So we're going to start with these two here. You start with whatever balloons are going to be seen all the way through. Does that make sense? I mean, sometimes. Now, my sketch lines, I try to make them a little bit darker so that you could see. I generally, when I'm painting, I lighten up my my outlines. So I'm just going to run an eraser just like lightly over my lines, because these are going to be pink and red, and I don't know that I want to see that line in the background, because watercolor, we know, is pretty translucent. So I just lightened up that a little bit. I don't want to lighten it up so much that I can't see it myself. But there we go. Okay. Now, this palette has not been activated, meaning that I haven't put any water on it. So I'm going to choose what color I want this heart and this heart to be, okay? I think this big one, we're just gonna go with red. We're gonna go with red. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna use this like very bright red, the third one down, and I'm just gonna drop some water on it here. Kind of grab and drop some water there. And then, see, it's on my brush. I use this piece of paper that's to the right of my painting to just dab and see, like, what does it look like? What is that color gonna look like? And so I just sort of am giving like an example. I'm gonna put a little bit more water on the brush, and then I'm going to outline. I'm going to outline my heart. Okay, so I'm just following the line of my balloon here. Now I'm going to make this a solid one, because you're going to be able to see him through. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit more here, and I'm just going around the outside, just following it around the outside. All right, now that we have the outside done, now we can take water, just dip it in your water, and we sort of just with the water, and we're gonna drag this, okay? So just with water, and we could have used a bigger brush for this, but just with the water, and I'm sort of, I know this sounds like a strange terminology, but I'm just sort of roughing up that original line. See the original line there? if it would have maybe already started to dry. I'm just sort of trying to blend it out a little bit. That original line around the outside. And then you just grab some more water, and I'm just sort of dragging the pigment and filling it in. Dragging the pigment and filling it in like this with just water. So now we already have a darker outline than the middle because we're just using water to pull that in. Now, if we look at our reference photo, you know that there is dark, you know that there is dark around this area. So I'm gonna put some water in that red right there, and I'm going to add it to where in the reference photo it looks the darkest, and that is up here. Okay, and around this sort of outside. And that's gonna, if we get just water and we put it through in here, because it's still wet in here, that will sort of bleed. So that red that we just put in the border is sort of bleeding through up. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this red down here like that, and we're still wet, so I'm going to rinse off my brush. Maybe I'll put this over here so you can see that. So I'm going to rinse off my brush and just drop some water right at the edge of where that pigment is. And so you're asking it to sort of bleed up into the heart like that. And blending it a little bit. Now, I'm going to rinse my brush off completely, and I'm going to dry it on my paper. Okay? I mean, dry it on my napkin. I'm going to dry it on this napkin, and I'm going to just grab in the reference photo. Do you see where it's like very light? So I'm just dragging a clean brush over this area to pick up the pigment right here, and just picking it up so that it gives like a light area right here. Okay. And then later on, I'm feeling like later on, we may add like a white shine to our balloons to give them even more like maybe curvature. You know what I mean? Okay. So this balloon that's right here, that's going to be in front of it, that balloon that's going to be in front, this balloon that's going to be in front is going to be painted after this one and this one. So now we've got to pick a different color for this one because I want our balloons to be all different colors. Okay. So now I'm looking at this palette, and we just used this one. So I'm thinking I want to use a sparkly one. So this is my favorite pink sparkly one, this one right here. So I'm going to do this pink sparkly wash over this whole balloon. And then I may drop in this darker color over here, or I may use a darker like pink sparkly around the edges. Okay. So I feel like that's I feel like that's where I'm headed here. So I'm going to just drop some water on my favorite pink. This one should just be called Favorite Pink because it is truly so fun and sparkly. Like it comes out like so sparkly. All right. Wait a minute. Do I want to do that? Or do I want to make this the front balloon sparkly? Okay, you guys, I'm calling an audible. We're changing that. All right, so this back balloon, we're going to make it a whole different color. I think we're going to make the back balloon, this is so hard. I think I'm going to make the back balloon like a purple. I like that. We're going to make the back balloon purple. All right, so I'm going to activate this purple color. So it's the purple color right here that is like diagonal to my favorite pink. It's the fifth one down in the middle, down from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're activating that one. All right, activating this one. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just outline the heart. I'm using the number 3 grabby, but you can use literally any round that you like, you know, that you feel like you have control with. It's really about what brush you feel control with when you're doing like the outline. Okay, so there's the outline of my balloon. I'm going to dip my brush in the water and then just blend it. So see how that's like a harsh line right there? I'm just going to like get more water basically on it and blend it. Blend it like that. Now we know that while it's wet like this, we can pick up pigment, clean off our brush, and we can pick up pigment. We can also add more pigment, but we can pick up pigment while it's wet. So I'm going to add a little bit of pigment around this part right here because that is where in our reference photo, is a dark area of a balloon that is, you know, concave or whatever. Not concave, that's the wrong word. That is bulbous, has some depth. You know, I don't always use the right words, you guys. You gotta just, you know, love me anyway. Love me anyway. So I'm gonna add some more dark down here. And because this whole center area is still wet, it should bleed nicely as it dries. It should bleed. And the reference photo has sort of this dark area in this whole bottom area like that. And then the light areas are up here. So I'm just going to grab some pigment off of here. Like that. There. So if you have enough water, it's going to blend in like a smooth way. If you have enough water. Okay. I think I'm going to grab a little bit more paint and I'm going to darken up the little bottom part, the little like gathered bit. And I'm gonna darken. So we're gonna come in after this dries, we're gonna come in and add more shadows and highlights to our balloons. So don't you gonna worry. Okay, so now we need to let these two dry before we make this front pink one that is translucent, okay? The translucent is going to be fun because I think what I'm going to do is the area where this balloon is going to be in front of, I think I'm going to grab this pigment just where the balloons overlap, and I'm going to pick it up. And I'm doing that just in this spot right here. And I'm doing that because the color that would bleed through would be lighter behind a balloon. Does that make sense? So what I did just there is so this is just behind where that pink balloon's going to be. I lightened the red balloon, just the edge, just this section right there. Okay. I think I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm taking a wet brush and I'm lightening also this, just the part of the purple balloon that would be like behind the pink. Just lightening that little spot right there. See that? Okay. All right. Now this needs to dry so we can pop over to this one here. Now this one, oh, what color are we gonna make this one? They're all gonna be purples and pinks and reds. So I think we're gonna go with like this bright pink here for this front one, okay? We're gonna go with this bright pink, which is the third one down on this other side. And so I'm just grabbing some water. Woo, I almost just spilt my water. Grabbing some water. Now you can use like a dropper, like a water dropper, but I just grab with the brush and put it in there. And then I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna put it on this piece of paper here and go, oh, I like that. But I want a very watery version of this. So watery is going to equal very transparent, right? So this is a big one. I think I'm gonna use a bigger brush. So I'm gonna add a little bit more water so that can be activated. And now I'm gonna take, it probably doesn't need to be quite this big, but I'm gonna use this number 14 with that color. So I'm going to come over here and zoom in a little bit for you guys. So you may not be able to see my palette right now, but at least you'll be able to see, oh, here we go. Yeah, and we'll zoom in. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna do this one. And we're gonna use that bright pink, and I'm gonna use this bigger 14. This 14, I'm gonna use this bigger one because I've got to get the paint up onto this fast enough that I don't, yeah, this is a better idea. Fast enough that the brush stroke doesn't dry. And this, look at that. Oh, why didn't I do that to begin with? So remember when I was like, use the brush that works for you? Yeah. So I am getting this whole area wet with paint, and I'm trying to stay in the lines of this balloon. Staying in the lines of this balloon. All right, now we're all filled, right? We're all filled and it's wet. So we can take a little bit more, add more pigment to it, and we can drop it where we know that the balloon is darker, like this. We know that the balloon is darker at the bottom because we're looking at our reference photo there. And the cool thing, the coolest thing about watercolor is that it's going to blend for you. It just is going to. Just watch. I'm just dragging that dark color. Oh my gosh, you guys. It worked. Let me move this so that I just moved my light so that you could see better without a glare. This heart is so wet that I'm just dabbing pigment where I want it, and it is working out. Okay, so now if I dry the brush, right, I can grab pigment where I want the pigment to not be. So I cleaned my brush off, and I dried it, and now I want to pick up the pigment in certain spots where my reference photo is showing would be lighter. Like that. Because it's essentially like the front of the balloon. All right, now we can just let that dry and blend the way that it's gonna blend. We're gonna let this blend the way it wants to blend. Okay? So far, so good, guys. We are rocking. All right. Now, I don't want to mess with the balloons that are behind or in front of any of these until they dry. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I want to play with this. Sometimes I don't trust it. Okay, so we're going to go down to our capybara here. Go down to capybara. There you are. Capybara. Oh, other way. All right. Now we're going to go down to our capybara, and I want to lay down the base color of the capybara. We can bring our light back over here. Okay, we want to lay down the base color of the capybara. So, let me look at our capybara. This is a capybara, okay? And I was looking at all these different sort of colors of capybaras. That's his face. I thought that was hilarious. Capybara. So this is sort of the this is sort of the vibe of the capybara, okay? I couldn't decide whether I should put a bird on him or not, but I think we're not going to put a bird because we're trying to keep this sort of simple beginner. So with him, I want to, with him, I want to look at what is the lightest color on him. So then we can do the background of the lightest color of him while our heart balloons dry. Okay. The lightest color of our capybara. And I think that light color is going to be, lightest color is going to be somewhere, possibly like this color, very diluted. So I'm going to grab some water and drop it on that color and sort of rub it around on that color. Yeah, I think that's going to be our light color for our capybara. And we're just getting that. See how we're sort of activating that color? All right. So once we activated that color, I'm going to dab it on my paper just to check. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. So now I'm just going to fill in. Now, don't worry about the string of the balloon that I have sketched over the top here, because it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter that that is there. So I'm just going to fill in my capybara, and I'm using the number 14 round because my capybara, this is a big-ish painting and it would take a long time. So I'm filling him all the way in with that light color, even his eye and everything. Filling him in so we can get a base like understanding of where he is in the basket. Okay? So we're just filling him in with the watercolor. Filling him in, and we're using enough water so that it is moving around. And what I mean by that is, if you feel like I'll pull this out so I can give you an example. If you use enough water with your color, it moves around like this circle. It moves around like this, and you can continually blend it because it has enough water. If you have not enough water, so I'm gonna dry off my brush so that you can see what not enough water would do. So if I have not enough water and I'm trying to blend it around, see how it's like, that's not enough water. It's like not fluid, and you're gonna get all of this. Whereas this one, see how it's very blendy. Not enough water. You use this for other like times, but not right now. Just to lay down the base, you want it to blend together, so you want to have enough water, but you also don't want it to be a swamp, okay? So you have to sort of, you can see, if I move this so the light catches it, you can see that this is still wet. This is already like almost dry. It's already almost dry on this side, but this is still a little bit wet. While it's wet, you can add. So I can add pigment to the border while the whole thing is wet, and it'll blend in. See that? It'll blend in while it's wet. So you want enough water, because now if I tried to blend this into this dry one, it's just not going to do it. Okay, so I hope that I explained that well enough. You just want to have enough water to activate your pigment. I hope that made sense. Okay, so now we have our the base of our capybara, and it's drying like very uniformly because there was enough water. Now, my basket color, I want it to be ultimately a darker brown, like wicker type basket. But its base is going to be a light-ish or warm-ish brown. And I also like the idea of the base of the basket being a metallic color so that it sort of gives it like dimension. So I'm gonna look at these sparkly ones here. I'm gonna look at these and I'm gonna go, what would I want as like the lightest color of my basket? I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. So this is the third one over, just that one, and that's gonna give a glittery or a like metallic sheen. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take that same brush, the big one, number 14 round, and I'm gonna activate. So I'm activating this guy. I'm just grabbing some water and plunking it in there and sort of activating that one. Okay. And with no real, like, I don't really care about the texture that I'm creating. I'm just making the background. Okay. So everywhere that the basket is going to be, I am putting this color. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's like, if you find it that it's darker in some areas, because it is going to be the background of all of the little wispy strokes that we do to create a basket. I know some people are going to feel intimidated by making a basket. It's actually fun and not as difficult as you may think. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I'm taking care not to let this color bleed into my capybara, because this bottom area of my capybara is still wet. And if I put this color onto it, it's going to bleed into the capybara, which is going to be fine because we're going to, but I'm just trying to keep that from happening, because we are going to make our capybara like furry. We are. Don't be scared. We are. It'll be all right. Okay. So now we have the base of this and we need to let that dry. But as we are letting that dry, our red and purple balloons, red and purple, the pink one not yet dry, but the red and purple, they're dry. Even this darkest part is dry. Okay, so now I'm going to make my pink balloon that's here, that's in front of it. Now I'm going to do it. I'm wanting to test to make sure that it is fully dry. I feel like it is. So we're just going to go. We're going in. All right. Remember, I was going to make this front translucent one my favorite pink, which is this color pink right here. We're going to make it that favorite pink. Whoops, I just touched it. That pink. All right. But I think that the dark outline of that favorite pink will be more like this pink here. Oh no, we just made this one that pink here. So you just want to pick like a little bit darker. So I actually think this is going to be the color of it. So maybe I'll just jump to this one right here for its outline. Does that make sense? You don't have to do that by any means, but that's the fun of having a pre-mixed palette with all of these variations. So I'm going to show you that now I'm activating this pink that's right below this, my favorite pink, and it's a little bit darker. So that's why I'm making my border with this color. Making my little outside border with that color. I've got to move this out of the way so my arm can fit here. And I'm just ever so carefully following the outline of my sketch and bringing it down here. Because this is supposed to be a translucent balloon. I'm doing the darkest outline with this color. And you guys don't like stress out if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not functioning to make like a perfectly round like heart or perfectly heart-shaped heart. It's fine. It's gonna be cute as heck. So, all right, now I have that outline. Now I'm going in, I'm reactivating because it has dried. I'm reactivating my favorite pink here. Favorite pink, I'm reactivating. I'm actually think I'm gonna go in with the big round brush. And I'm just gonna drop it in here. And let the water, I may have a lot of water on that. I'm not gonna lie. I may have more water on that brush than I would normally have. Now you can see how you can see the other balloons through it. How cute is that? Whoa! Okay, it's very cute. In case you were wondering, I think it's cute. All right, and I'm just gonna drop this pink in here so that it sort of blends around and dries. I'm dropping it in so it's blending around and drying. Oh no, I got a little dot there. Okay, now that is more water than I like to have, so I'm gonna pick it up. I'm using a dry brush to pick up because that's way more water than I like to have. Like way more. Too much water, guys. So I'm going in with just like a more dense pigment with less water. Because that was a lot of water. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's not like soupy. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna move this so you can see it without the glare. See how the balloon is like in front? Oh yeah. So this red balloon back here, we're gonna fill in more red, okay? We're gonna darken some areas, and yeah, it's going to evolve. Our painting is going to evolve, you guys. Don't worry, because right now that does not look like a bulbous, round balloon, but it's going to. Just wait. It's going to be fabulous. We're going to finish this video here now that we have laid down the base color for most of the balloons and our capybara and our basket. In the next video, part 2, we're going to paint our capybara. The second video will be all about creating this cute little capybara. So we'll see you in the next video.